but yo, the scene in the penthouse, bro, that was a sexy scene. That scene was hot. Like as soon as he comes into the penthouse, you're like, yo, there's a sexual tension in the air. Like, yo, something is about to happen. Yes, sir, it is your boy KB, the boss from ShifterMagazine.com, here with another episode of Shifter TV Talk, where we break down some of our favorite TV shows. And so today we're talking about BET's Sistas. It was on last night. It was Season 5, Episode 2, similar to All American. They started at the same time. So Season 5, Episode 2. And it was a pretty good episode. It was a pretty good episode, as you could expect from Sistas. Lots of drama, lots of controversy. If you've never watched Sistas before, it's basically like a soap opera for Black people. That's what it is. Then again, Black people watch Young and the Restless and all those. Like we all, our families watch those. But yeah, still, it is like a soap opera for Black folk, starring Black folk. And so last night's episode was pretty cool. It was pretty good. We do have a full recap, if you don't mind spoilers. We try not to put too much spoilers in our recaps. But yeah, if you don't mind a little bit of spoilers, we do have a full recap of last night's episode over at ShifterMagazine.com, so you can go over and check that out. But let's jump in. And if you're not familiar with Shifter TV Talk, we basically just go over our ups and our downs from every episode of these shows. So last night, our first down. Now, yesterday, there was kind of a bit of a running theme. It was kind of, well, at least what I noticed, it was a kind of an episode of relapses. We had some relapses. So the first down from yesterday's episode was Karen going crazy. Now, if you watch yesterday's episode, you saw Karen went crazy. And last episode of Shifter TV Talk, I talked about the fact that I really thought Karen was kind of turning a corner. She seemed like it was like, Karen's growing out here. Like she's maturing. It felt like she finally got a sense of closure that her and Zach were over. It felt like we finally got some closure there. Like, okay, you know what? She's going to move on. I predicted that like she was going to end up being like one of the best characters this season, that her and Aaron were actually going to end up together and be very happy. Bro, like I could not have been more wrong. Karen was back to her old ways. Karen was crazy. If you watched the episode, you saw that, Aaron showed up. Aaron was been trying to find Karen since last episode. He shows up at the hospital. We're going to get more to that. But she didn't know who told Aaron where she was. And so for some reason, she thought it was Fatima. So she calls Fatima, calls her the B word, like tells her off, goes in on Zach for knowing that she was in the hospital and not coming to see her. Bro, after thinking this girl got closure last episode, this girl went crazy on Zach and Fatima. And so for me, just that little bit of a relapse after thinking she finally turned the corner, boom, that's a down. And the next down correlating to that is Aaron. Listen, as you guys know, I've said this countless times in my written recaps last week on Shifter TV Talk, I do not like Aaron. I think Aaron is worthless. Aaron is a simp. He's a pushover. Don't like Aaron. Yesterday, the same thing. He shows up at the hospital. As soon as Karen sees him come into the room, she turns her head. She goes, shit. She swears like shit. As soon as she sees him, and then he's like, his response eventually is, sorry, I wasn't trying to impose. This man's been imposing on her life since last season, since the beginning of last season, been imposing on her life. And he has the audacity to sit there and be like, sorry, I wasn't trying to impose. Bro, Aaron does not get a hint. This man cannot take a hint. She does not like you. Not only does she not love you, she don't even like you. Bro, Aaron, one thing we can trust with Aaron is that every episode, this man's going to give us a down. Every episode, this man's a walking down. He's a walking L. Aaron, boom, that one's for you. Next down from yesterday, let's talk about Danny and Preston. Now, I commend Preston, man. He's kind of like Aaron, very nice guy, simpish, but very likable. So yeah, he gave Danny an ultimatum. Either you let me know you want me to stay, or I'm leaving and going back to my hometown to marry some girl. And yeah, man, it just felt like a down. Cause I'm like, yo, like Danny, man, Danny obviously loves this guy. Like Danny obviously loves this guy. But for some reason she's holding back. She's scared. She's afraid. She feels her differences are too big to overcome. And this girl's like denying herself of this relationship and this love that she actually wants. So for me, that was a down, just because it's sad, man. It's sad to see people like that who can't receive love, who are scared and stuff. So that was a little bit of a down. Next down, Andi letting Gary back in. Bro, another one of my high points, my ups from last week was the conversation between Gary and Andi. It's like, yo, they finally got some closure. It felt like they finally got some closure. Had a great scene. After it was tumultuous at first. It was like World War III at first, and then finally they got some closure. I said in my last week's Shifter TV talk, I'm like, yo, this is one of the best scenes we've seen from these two. Such a mature like closure and all that kind of stuff, bro. Andi lets him back in to do relationship exercises. Like, bro, the man almost killed her, almost suffocated her to death. Was spying on her from across the street with a telescope, and this girl is like, "Oh, come!" She wants him to come over to talk to go over why they're the good and bad of their relationship. Bro, you had a clean break. The man was in the rearview mirror. That's a friggin' down. This girl is crazy. And what else do we have here for our downs? We also have, no Maurice, man. 2 episodes in, no Maurice and no Eva Marcille, no All the Queen's Men crossover that has been in all the marketing materials. Still no, bro, how are you 2 episodes into the season and you have no Maurice? Like maybe the guy, the actor, maybe he was on set for other production. Maybe he was like booked for something else. But bro, like 2 episodes in, you got no Maurice? No Eva Marcille, no All the Queen's Men crossover after you've been marketing the heck out of that thing. Boom. Down. That's a down. So let's talk about our ups for this episode. I actually didn't have as many ups as I did downs for this episode. Not to say I didn't like the episode, because I actually did like it. But yes, I did have more downs than ups. Okay, so first up, Pam. 2 episodes in a row, man. Pam as a character. I said last week that I gave her an up because she was like, she was finally being a friend to Karen. She was like, before she's always someone who like shares Karen's business and has no manners, has no sense of decorum or anything of that sense, no behavior. But then last episode, it was like, man, she finally was like, she was able to keep Karen's secret. She was being a real friend for Karen in a time when she needed it. So I was like, that was great. And she continued this episode. Like she was actually, she had her moments, but really like Pam was a good character this episode, good friend to Karen. She's maturing, she's evolving. Like, Pam, boom, up. And my other up. Actually, we can definitely give it up. I didn't have this emerging in my list, but we can definitely give an up to Zach and Fatima. Zach and Fatima are like the opposite of Aaron. Aaron guarantees you a down every single episode, and Zach and Fatima guarantee you an up every single episode. Their interactions were great. You had, just like going back to Zach's house and just, him rubbing her feet and all that kind of stuff. They had some good moments this episode. Karen kind of messed it up. Karen kind of, messed up the whole situation. But definitely Zach and Fatima, they're always going to be an up. So let's do that. The other up. Now, you might want to call me a hypocrite. You might want to say I'm contradicting myself right now. But let me say this right now. Andi and Gary in the penthouse, that scene was an up. Definitely. Bro, yes, I did say it was a down that she let him back in, but the scene in the penthouse, bro, that was a sexy scene. That scene was hot. Like as soon as he comes into the penthouse, you're like, yo, there's a sexual tension in the air. Like, yo, something is about to happen. Just looking at the smile, the look on his face and the look on her face, it's like, yo, you knew something was about to happen in that scene. One thing about Tyler Perry is he gives us some good sex scenes in Sistas. Like there's some good sex scenes. And so, yeah, man, it was like, that was a great scene. Just watching the tension between, we know those couples. We know those couples that are bad for each other. You know what I'm saying? They're not good for each other at all. They're dysfunctional. They should never be together. But for some reason, there's this chemistry. There's this attraction that between them. Gary and Andi are those that kind of couple. Bro, watching that scene, I was like, yo, if you watch that scene with your significant other, something was happening when the episode finished. Something happened when the episode, like watching that scene was like enough to get anybody in the mood. Like them two together on screen, like from an acting standpoint, bro, they had me believing. Like if KJ Smith wasn't with somebody, had a fiance in real life, I'd be like, yo, something's happening off screen between these two. Cause yo, like the chemistry between those two, the way they looked at each other, like, yo, like it was a passionate, hot scene and I loved it. I was there for it. We need more of those two on screen. After the last episode, I was like, yo, I want to see these two on screen together again. Like, it's done. But after yesterday's scene in the penthouse, I was like, yo, these two, we need more of these kinds of scenes from these two actors because they nailed it. So that's it. Those are my ups and my downs. That's what I thought about. You may have found some more ups and downs from that you had from this episode. So feel free to comment in the comment section below. What were your ups and your downs from last night's episode of Sistas? I'd love to hear from you guys. And once again, we do have a full written recap over at shiftermagazine.com for you guys to check out. Once again, it's your boy KB the Boss from shiftermagazine.com.